There you go, number 9. It's always fun to see Maine beaches make an annual list of the best to visit, which they often do. But there's another more serious list that we as a state should be conscious of.
It's a national report that ranks states for how they protect their beaches and oceans, and Maine ranks at the top. News Center Maine's Chris Costa is here with more. Hi, Chris.
Brian and Amanda, that report comes from the Surfrider Foundation. It's a nonprofit dedicated to caring for those ecosystems and making sure people can access them. The foundation's State of the Beach report grades 30 states, plus Puerto Rico, on comprehensive laws and policies to protect beaches from coastal erosion, sea level rise, and poorly planned development. That report considered how states deal with 4 major categories that affect the ecosystem: development, like building near the ocean; coastal armoring, such as building seawalls; sediment, like sand; and sea level rise. The group says Maine is leading the way in safeguarding its coasts while preparing for and adapting to its changing climate.
The ocean is our playground, and our playground has become polluted. There's over 15 hard plastic fragments like this.
At this playground, it's research, not recess, that brings these high school students outside.
2 wrappers and a hard plastic, okay. And plastics don't biodegrade, they just break down into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces.
Katie Straight is a science teacher at Baxter Academy. She's also a marine biologist, an avid surfer, seeing the effects of climate change with her own eyes.
I'll be in the water and there's marine debris just floating. And so this is how we've collected all of our data.
She and her students use an app by National Geographic to document what types of pollution they find and where.
And you can't go a step or two without seeing some type of plastic or some type of marine debris. So these environments that people love are now being tarnished. And they're not separate issues, they are tied together.
Because the fossil fuels that contribute to sea level rise are the same ones used to make plastic.
Look, that is case in point right there, actually. So that plastic, it looks like a Coke bottle, is just floating in Back Cove right there. But it makes me angry to see.
The good news?
Maine is actually really progressive for planning for climate change, understanding climate change, and then developing sea level rise plans.
A new report from the Surfrider Foundation ranks states and their laws and policies that prevent climate change and its effects on beaches and oceans. Only 3 states received an A grade: California, Maryland, and Maine.
They're putting their money where their mouth is, so I've never been surprised at how Maine is doing such a good job.
The report credits Maine's laws that protect coastlines from new building projects, such as not allowing development in intertidal zones, the area where the ocean meets the land between high and low tides.
Places like New Jersey and Florida build right up into the intertidal areas.
Which Surfrider says creates another problem: building seawalls to protect those homes. The group says seawalls block the natural flow of sand to the beach and starves the beach in front of it, limiting public access.
Seawalls might have good intentions to protect infrastructure, but they wreck the beach. So instead of doing, again, these short-term incremental band-aids, let's invest now.
That's one area the report says Maine can improve on. Surfrider advocates for using nature-based solutions, like when South Portland used Christmas trees to restore sand dunes at Willard Beach.
It's construction, but we're using nature to protect nature rather than a seawall that's going to trap all of that sand.
Fishermen I grew up with, people who work in the woods, farmers, I mean, they are seeing changes in our climate that they want us to take seriously.
Hannah Pingree, co-chair of Maine's Climate Council, says one issue she and her team are focused on is sea level rise. A report that the state commissioned expects Maine could see ocean water rise 1.5 feet by the year 2030 if we do nothing about our impact on the environment.
Our state is taking these issues seriously from an economic point of view, from a climate point of view. And honestly, I don't think there's political disagreement on the need to protect our sort of the essential part of Maine, one of the many essential parts of Maine.
3 wrappers, 1, 2, 3.
An essential part for Katie, her students, and her family.
And I want my kids, my 7 and my 9-year-old, to have clean beaches when they're my age. It comes down to education. We need awareness first. People can't do anything without awareness.
So that area of improvement, seawalls, state data show about half of Maine's sandy beaches are already lined with seawalls, but building new or extending any existing seawall on beaches in the state is illegal. And while those nature-based efforts can be more expensive, there is money from the federal government dedicated to those initiatives to protect our climate. Brian and Amanda.
All right, Chris, thank you.